right, hey guys, back with another chapter of our walkthrough here. So I'm gonna go through Seize the Day, which is a PvP event that you have to pay 15 crystals to get in, but here's why you should and when you should. So depending on when your event will end, I guess it depends on the time zone. For me, it will end at 2 a.m. But I'm going to play the last couple of nodes, and I jumped in about 2.5 hours the um, before the event ends. And the reason I did that is because there are brackets to the amount of players that can jump into a ranked event. So the way that works is you can see what rank you are when you check the leaderboard down here in the bottom right corner. And so right now I'm at rank 10 and I only have a couple more nodes left. The reason I was able to jump in with rank 10 was because there was a smaller bracket in the leaderboard here. So there is one person that is perfect score, I believe. Top rank. No. So you can see the top rank. I believe that 180 is the max score that you can get for this event. And I'm at 134, and I just jumped in at the end of this bracket here. So I believe that 135 is the most that you can get. And I'm just playing through to progression. That was really my main aim here. And progression gets you a pretty good amount of crystals, 50 crystals, 6 jewels, which we don't worry about jewels yet, and a decent amount of runes. And we kind of need runes right now to level up our characters, our planeswalkers. But we also get these awesome packs that have a really high chance of getting mythics and rares and masterpieces in. And I actually already pulled a few mythics, but I will show you those later when I show you my spoils. So the reason I jumped in um, with only 2 hours to go is because it's very likely that a new bracket will have opened up with less people in it. So I jumped in at a time where I believe I was at rank, like, I don't know, 100 and something. So that means that there was only, so a max right down here, you'll see at the bottom left corner where it says rank 500 to 1,000. So that means the max amount of people in this bracket could be 1,000. And when I jumped in, the bottom lowest rank was somewhere between rank 100 and 250. So depending on if nobody jumps in after me, which is highly unlikely, but say it did, that means I would automatically, just for jumping into the event, I would get a booster, 2 jewels, 10 crystals, 1,000 runes, and a reward pack. However, since I just been playing through and just using a default deck, or not default, but just my normal deck that I've been using to go through training grounds and in Origin story mode, I've been able to make my way to rank 10. And the only thing is the rules, when we look at them, we have a really limited pool of cards I could use. So these are the only cards that you can use in this set here. So Origins is this first one, and then we got some special series that only are usable in this event and in Legacy Training Grounds. So the deck that I was able to build was mostly Origins, but I got a couple, yeah, other than Cabal Coffers, which was something that I won from getting one of the packs during my progression. This is the only card I have in this deck, and it's pretty much the same deck with all of the nodes that I'm using right now. So even with the same deck, just playing through, just trying to rack up as many rewards as I can, and just by virtue of that, I will be ranking very highly in the standings here. So In a few hours, I'll be able to see how well I do and what rewards I get. And so let's just walk through and I'll show you one of the nodes here. I emptied out the top node because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to even record this event. So we got special um, we got a special permanent support that can't be destroyed, and it's called Gravestorm. And at the beginning of your turn, destroy the top 4 cards of your library. Then your opponent draws a card and it gains half its mana. So same thing happens for you. At the beginning of their turn, you get to draw a card and it gives you half its mana. So let's just go through and I'll show you what happens. See that? See how they draw a card and it got half its mana there? So depending on what you have in your deck, you can really speed things up. And that's one of the event objectives. If you look in here, you have to win the fight within 10 rounds. And even with this deck that's not optimized for speed, really, I've only missed the speed objective like once or twice. And I've always hit the tombstone one, which is putting cards in my graveyard. So every turn puts 4 more cards in your graveyard. So that's really not that hard to do. I'm actually a little surprised that it was that easy to do, even in this deck that has no cards that send cards to your graveyard or abilities. So that was pretty cool to see. I just been playing as I normally do because I wasn't expecting to really be able to hit a lot of these objectives, but so far it's been working out all right. And so yeah, since last time I recorded, my Ajani is almost at max level, which is cool. So once I hit max level, I'll have everything powered up, and all I'll need to do is just keep collecting cards. And that frees up runes to level up the rest of my characters that I plan on grabbing soon enough. Nicole Bolas is going to take a long time to level up to 60, so the quicker I can do that, the better off I will be. So Cabal Coffers is support that I put in here. So at the beginning of your turn, I gain X mana, and X is the number of black gems. And the awesome thing is that it's a colorless card, so I can put it into any deck of mine. And just by the fact that there are black gems on the board at any given time, I get mana. I don't have to have a black planeswalker to benefit. It's just a straight on mana gain. So as you can see, I won within 7 rounds, which is right about the average of how I win at this node. And then Tombstone, 34 cards in the graveyard. So easy to hit that objective. And now the other node, the one on the right, and I just hit progression. So I think I might be able to level them up. Almost. So close to hitting max level. And so the objectives here: Striker, deal 15 or more damage during a single turn, and Commander, summon 6 or more creatures during a single fight. And that's why I recommend using a Johnny for this node, because he's just, as long as you are at full health, you're going to be summoning a Johnny Soldier tokens. So right off the bat, you're a third of the way there just by the end of your first turn here. So this is a node that you can choose one of 4 different permanent supports that can't be destroyed, and they each give you special effects. I always go for Delaying Shield, and I'll show you what Delaying Shield does. If a source would deal damage, you prevent X of that damage, then reinforce the support. At the end of your turn, if this support is reinforced, you lose X life. Then this support loses all of its reinforcements. And X is the number of white gems. So, what that means is if you have a lot of white gems on the board, as you will with a Johnny who can create white gems, this means that you will take a minimal amount of damage. Problem is, your opponent can randomly be chosen that support as well. So it makes it really tricky to hit this striker objective because it reduces all damage during a single turn by the amount of um, white gems on the board. So if there are, like, for example, there's, I don't know, something like 10 or 11. So if that planeswalker had chosen Delaying Shield, then I would only be able to make, I would have to be swinging for like 26 damage at a time just to be able to hit that objective. So thankfully they did not choose that. So instead they chose this one. When your creature you control attacks, destroy 2 random gems. And then if there's an even number of red gems on the board, that creature gains double strike. So it's kind of random if they get double strike or they get 0 when they attack. But let's see what happens in this battle. So far, it hasn't been very difficult, except for when they have the Delaying Shield for themselves. That was a pretty nasty Sarah Benevolent Angel deck that gave me some trouble, but I don't think I was that close to losing that one. I think I was at about 80 life, which is actually a pretty substantial amount of damage that I've taken. You know, Johnny is just so solid that you win battles so easily, and you usually do it with almost all your life still still intact. Assemble can be such an awesome ability because if you have a lot of things that grant you prevent damage in your deck, then you can just strike your opponent with a soldier or any creature you have with enlist, such as Jazal Goldmane, that is a default creature you get when you buy a Johnny. You can have him attack a creature and hopefully dispatch it. And now, because that creature has prevent, or because my creature in the bottom slot has prevent damage, he's just going to bash into my creature there and just self-destruct. See how it had double strike? It's because of the um, permanent support. And that's game. And let's see how we did. Yep. Easy enough. Made no real adjustments to my deck to be able to hit that objective. And so that's pretty much just how I blew through all the nodes here. Just used the same deck all the way through. Had no issue winning. I missed objectives here and there, but I wasn't really trying that hard. So I end at rank 7. So hopefully if I don't fall down the rankings too much, there is just over an hour before the event ends. That means I will get a Judgment Collector pack, 20 crystals, or 20 jewels, 40 crystals, 1,000 runes, and an extra reward pack. So I'll be back once this event is over, and I will show you what I've got from just doing this event. All right, and I'm back. So sees the day is over, and I sat at rank 7 with a final score 154. That's pretty good. It was way down from my main account, which I think ended at 170, or no, it had to have been more than that. But anyways, yeah, so claim rewards. Got a collector pack, 20 jewels, 40 crystals, 1,000 runes, and another reward pack. So let's see what we went ahead and got here. Judgment packs. And from the vault card set. Alright, so guaranteed non-duplicate from any of these cards here. So let's see what we get. Okay, just an uncommon. What is this? Frog Beast. When you discard a card from your hand, you may exile this creature. If you do, return to the battlefield under your control. This creature gains a random basic evergreen ability. Interesting. I don't know if I'll use it, but I don't know. Worth maybe checking out in my Nissa deck. Alright, let's see what is in this booster. Dwarven Driller. That's an okay card. Telekinetic Bonds. When a player discards a card, if that card had mana, disable the first creature your opponent controls on end of turn, then enable all the disabled creatures that player controls. Okay. And a duplicate mythic. Okay, well, those are crafting orbs we can do something with later on. So let me show you all the cards that I got from just doing this event. These are all new cards. Transcendence, do not use this card. It has the ability to make you lose the game automatically. And especially with a Johnny, that will probably happen very quickly. Epic Struggle, at the end of your turn, populate. So reinforce the first creature token you control with the greatest base power. I don't know if I have anything that's creating tokens in green yet, but that's cool. At the beginning of your turn, if you control 15 or more creatures or creature reinforcements, you gain 15 loyalty. So that could be kind of cool. Cabal Coffer, as I told you, I've been using that. Dwarven Driller. Mortophobia. Never really liked this card, but it does add discard to my repertoire. Bonds. Flash of Insight. Pick one of the first X cards from the library that are not named Flash of Insight. It gains X mana. X is your blue mana bonus. If you cast this card from your graveyard, draw a card instead. It gains mana equal to the number of cards named Flash of Insight in your graveyard, then exile those cards. Okay. Not great. And Shield Mage Advocate. When a source your opponent controls deals damage to your creature you control, turn the first 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard to their hand. The target creature you control gains protection from your opponent's planeswalker's color until end of turn. Nothing really worth using other than Cabal Coffers, which is an excellent card, and possibly Epic Struggle in the future, but Anyway, for 15 crystal cost, I got all this and some jewels and a decent amount of crystals. So yeah, that would be the way I recommend going about it as a beginning player. If you have a deck with a Johnny that you're happy with, you can follow my lead there and hopefully make good use out of your 15 crystal entry fee. All right, see you next time.